In DMZ, there's a special Easter egg treasure hunt quest that ends with you finding a special golden skull. Now I know what a load of you will be thinking, oh, I found golden skulls, they're not that much of a big deal. This isn't the golden skull that you find from the commanders, this is something different and the game specifically tells you so. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here, I don't want to speculate too much, but it seems a little bit like it could even be a bit of a teaser for something to do with zombies. I'll explain, don't worry. If you like this video, if you find it useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn your notifications on, all that good stuff. The quest all begins when you find the sunken ship captain's cache key, and frustratingly, there's no way to guarantee that you get this. There are plenty of ways to find keys. We were looking around Albagra Fortress a lot because there's loads of duffel bags there and they seem to spawn in them quite a lot. You can do HVT contracts, so the high value target contracts, they seem to drop them when they die, but there's like 100 keys and it's completely random which one you get. So my only advice really is to just keep on playing, and if you find these, make sure you don't destroy them, make sure you keep one of them. Later on, you're also going to need the downtown post office key and the post office secure room key. Those two, again, completely random drops. At least with the post office one, then you can buy that from buy stations because it's kind of one of the bigger denied areas, so you can keep on checking buy stations to see if it shows up in there. Each buy station will have one key, it costs $30,000 so it's quite expensive, but if you buy it, then you can just exfil with it and it'll be in your inventory for the future. But once you do have that key, the sunken ship captain's cache key, you want to take that down to the south. There's this sunken ship where there's just the top sort of bridge bit sticking out of the water. That's where you want to go, and in that bridge you'll find the cache. It's just like a duffel bag on the floor and you'll be able to open it using that key. Inside that bag you're going to find a logbook, and you can actually go into your inventory and press the interact button to read this, and it will say Captain's log, recent entry. The treasure is being stored below deck, but one of the workers stole the only key to the box and ran off. He was dressed in some sort of postal uniform. Now the ship is under attack and I can only hope we get to open water before they damage the hull. What a mess this treasure has brought upon us. When we saw this was like the most exciting thing. Someone on my Discord, Ninja, told me about this. A French streamer had managed to find this, and it just blew my mind that there's like an actual treasure hunt. There's clues for somewhere to go. This is a bit more detailed than anything I'd seen in DMZ before. But obviously the clue's there that we're looking for a key from someone who was dressed as a postal worker, so it makes sense that you need to go to the post office. So for this next section, you need the downtown post office key, and you also need the post office secure room key. A really important note for this next part: if you're playing as a squad, whichever player opened that captain's cache now needs to have both the post office key and the security room key. They have to be the person who opens both the next doors, otherwise it seems like one of the key items doesn't spawn. We're not 100% sure that that's how it worked, but we did this like 6 times, and the only 2 times we got the required item to spawn was when I was the one that had unlocked every single thing. Then it managed to spawn the right key and we could progress on the story. So the next step is obviously to go to the post office. This doesn't need to be in the same game as the one where you enter the sunken ship. You can exfil from that and then go into a different game, but then you need to go into the post office. We found it easier because the room you need to go to is right at the top. We found it easier to get a helicopter if you can, or you can just go up the side of the building and get to the top and then go down from there. If you go into this door, you'll probably find an enemy on the stairs somewhere, and then you'll find another enemy in the corridor. Just kill both of those, and then you can open up the secure room without having to fight and search all the way through the rest of the post office. If all of this has worked, and like I said, we did all of this 6 times, and we only got this to work twice, on the desk in front of you should be a key that says Thieves Cache Key. Now this is the thing that you need for the next step. Like I said, a lot of times we did this, that didn't spawn. There was like some tea and things like that on the desk instead. Very, very frustrating. You'll know as soon as you open the door whether it's there or not. Thankfully, a lot of these keys have multiple uses, so hopefully if it doesn't work, you can just go and exfil with the keys and then come back in and try again. But this bit was very, very frustrating. Now, once you've got that key, you could exfil with it if you want, if you're running a bit low on time or something like that. Both times we did this, for the record, we just went straight back to that sunken ship. So because we had a helicopter both times we did this, we just jumped into the helicopter, flew straight back to that ship where you'd gone to the captain's cache, And then if you swim just a little bit west of where that captain's cache is, from the bit that's sticking out over the water, and swim underwater, you should be able to see there's a small hole kind of what I'm guessing is the back of the boat. You need to go into that hole. Now bear in mind you're going to be running out of oxygen pretty fast. Like, this is pretty deep down, so you have to be quick. But right by the entrance to that hole, just on the right, you should be able to see the thieves' cache, and this is what has the treasure inside. So very quickly, before you drown, unlock it, open it up, and then from that you should be able to loot this skull as well as a note about it. So the skull itself looks like the other golden skulls in the game, but it's worth $25,000, and it's called the Golden Skull of Al Bagra Miner. And we know Al Bagra is where the fortress is, so if there is more steps to this Easter egg that we don't know about, it probably has something to do with that fortress. But the laminated sheet of paper you get with the skull, because obviously this has been underwater, I guess that's why it's laminated, says Item 23B, Golden Skull of Al Bagra Miner. Thought to contain magical powers. This skull is made of gold, and while it looks like so many other golden skulls, there appears to be some glyphs along the outside that make it unique and especially valuable. The meaning of the glyphs is unknown and still being investigated. Now, as far as I can tell, when you put the skull on the ground, it does just look like other skulls. Really frustratingly, the first time we got this, we got an embassy key with it, and we thought, oh, we need to go over to the embassy, maybe that's where the next step is, and then the game crashed. The game just froze. That's annoying. So that's the skull gone. And so I lost everything. I lost the embassy key, I lost the skull, I lost the thieves' cache key, I lost everything, and the post room keys. So we then had to spend hours searching for keys to try and get all of this again. Eventually we got it again, but then that time we got an art gallery key with it. So we were fairly confident that there's nothing at either of those two locations that you need to do anything with the skull with. As far as I can tell, at least. We explored both of them, we couldn't find anything, but let me know in the comments if you do find something. So now, where are we left with this skull and with the Easter egg so far? You can exfil with the skull. I've done that. You get $25,000 for it, which isn't a massive deal really. Doesn't seem incredibly important, doesn't seem like a great reward for it. Exfilling with it doesn't seem to give you a calling card or a blueprint or anything like that, as far as I can tell. If someone finds something like that, please let me know. It seems like there could be another step, so something to do with Al Bagra, maybe something underneath the fortress. We haven't explored under there properly. It says Al Bagra Miner, which I thought might be that small little island that you can actually see in the Sarif Bay map. I thought maybe there was something there. I tried putting it down there, but it didn't do anything. It talks about there being some kind of glyphs, so maybe there's just some place you need to place the skull, and then there'll be some kind of interaction. That would be super cool. I'm going to keep on looking for stuff like that, but we haven't found anything so far. If you've got any ideas at all for where we could put this skull, where we could take this skull, somewhere that seems like it's a good place to place it, that has something to do with Al Bagra maybe, please let me know in the comments and we'll try out on stream straight away. I think now, once we can find the post room keys, like once we have those keys, we should be able to find all of this stuff fairly easily. It's just a case of getting the skulls to try stuff again, because we burnt our last uses of the keys doing this. Now, onto the skull and what it could mean. I said at the beginning of the video, I thought maybe this could have something to do with zombies. I mean, it's a skull, it talks about having magical powers, and it's got glyphs on it. That, to me, sounds like it could be something from the sort of universe of zombies, something from that kind of wheelhouse. If anyone who's watching this is a massive zombies fan and thinks that they have an idea about what this could mean, what this could be, please let me know. I'd be really, really interested. I'm not an expert on the zombies lore at all, so I've got no idea if this could connect something. I know obviously in the Modern Warfare games we don't normally get anything to do with zombies, but this is Warzone rather than Modern Warfare, so I thought maybe this could be a hint of something coming in the future. That would be absolutely awesome. Again, let me know in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. Turn your notifications on to get notified when I go live. I've been streaming this a lot lately and there's plenty more for me to explore, so make sure you do that, and I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.